Hello, guys. This is Nikki, and it's May 14, 2020. It's already Thursday. And so let's discuss what happened in the Philippine market for this day. So, just from a stats perspective, we're seeing that your top gainer for the day is one of our top picks, which is Globe. Globe is now up 3%, 2170, with active trading at about 245 million pesos. In your most active for the day of Thursday, Globe actually is the highest volume and one of the highest gains. I said one of the highest because this is totally unexpected. SM Prime went up 7%, closing 30.6 at 200 million from prior day's close of 28.55. So it seems that everyone who bought the bad news yesterday on the MSCI decrease waiting on SM Prime had a 7% intraday move, buying at yesterday's close and selling at one day after. Now, we also see that our utilities such as Meralco has been steadily rising this week. Now it's about 275. You've seen PLDT recover after going as low as 1170 a few days ago, such as Monday. So far, PLDT is up 12 pesos, 1% to 1201. We're also seeing our G Pump Pit, which is URC, go higher. URC is now 132 pesos, slightly up, less than a percent, but at least it's going up steadily one day at a time. So far, some of the good news happened, such that RHI declared a cash dividend of 1 peso, triggering another 1% move for RHI, Robinson's Retail Holdings, which also owns supermarkets and your mini stop services and a lot of a 25% stake on department stores, 75% stake mostly on the on your groceries and supermarkets. That said, pure gold is now down 1 peso 50 cents, closing at 46.50, 182 million. So it seems as if people kind of flipped the MSCI, seeing that MSCI had been added, waiting, and SM Prime being deleted. Today was a significant change in the tide. Now, for the news, we want to share the following things. Bloomberry today reported their first quarter 2020 unaudited results announcement. Bloomberry's income declines by 38% to 1.4 billion pesos. Let me read the highlights to you. First quarter results negatively impacted by economic and tourism implications of COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the temporary suspension of gaming operations since March 16, 2020. Total gross gaming revenue was 12 billion in Solar, representing a decrease of 10% from 13.6 billion pesos in the first quarter of 2019. The VIP gross gaming revenue was 4.7 billion pesos, representing a decline of 21% year-over-year. Mass tables and electronic game machine GGR declined by 2% year-over-year to about 3.9 billion and 3.6 billion pesos respectively. The consolidated net revenue was 9.4 billion, representing a decline of 13% year-over-year. Consolidated EBITDA was 3.5 billion, representing a decrease of 23% from 4.5 billion in the same quarter last year. Consolidated net profit was 1.4 billion pesos, representing a decline of 38% compared to 2.2 billion in the same quarter last year. Consolidated cash and cash equivalents as of the end of March was 37.8 billion pesos. Bloomberry Resorts is the proud owner operating Solaria Resorts and Casino and Jeju Sun Hotel and Casino, which also reported their consolidated financial results for the first 3 months of the year ending March 31, 2020. Enrique K. Razon, the chair and CEO, has said that the global economic activity and tourism has drastically slowed, while the Philippine government's ECQ has resulted in the temporary suspension of Solaire's gaming operations. We look forward to restart the gaming segment soon after the quarantine is lifted. We anticipate a slow recovery as our patrons, customers, and employees adjust to the new normal. At Solaire, we plan to meet and exceed the acceptable local safety standards. Our stringent regimen of safety measures will be world-class examples of the safe reopening of entertainment venues, kickstarting the local economy to return the livelihoods of our communities. So far, if you wish to read, you could see more details in their first quarter 2020 report. Just go to bloomberry.ph and go to their first quarter results. I'm sure that you would want to read up on the biggest casino player in the Philippine market. Now, from a results perspective, you could see that actually Bloomberry was steady. It was actually 550, closing 2.8% after the earnings results. Total value traded 9.4 million pesos. You can go to stats, take a look at the fundamentals of Bloomberry, just to check what their fundamentals are, what their current price to earnings ratio, what is the market cap of your Bloomberry after the ECQ. So actually, Bloomberry is a casino that is actually still impressive that even in an ECQ is generating 1.4 billion peso profit. Let's go to the charts of Bloomberry the ECQ time. So you can see that Bloomberry was actually able to go higher lows. This is what you see. The low was about 4, the high was about 648. We're seeing the Bloomberry seems to be consolidating nicely above 5. It's probably trapped here for a while since longer recovery time for casinos. But from a chart perspective, even in the last 5 years, Bloomberry is indeed trading at your 5-year lows, nearing your 2016 to 2017 levels. At this point in time, we can recall that this was a time when I think, for now, I think the bad news for Bloomberry is your POGO operations, although that has been resumed. During this time, I can't remember the bad news already, 2016, but let me search, just a fast search on what was the Bloomberry drop there. So just read on the news. 2016 Bloomberry news. So they swung back to profit. They lost through arbitration case, Bangladesh. Either way, yeah. Okay, so we'll get back. I don't cover a lot of casinos, but we'll try to read up on it. I'll give a study on it when I can. But so far, it's a better than I would say that the market was felt that that was a better than expected result. Who would have thought that they would still be profitable even when the ECQ has been starting since March 16? But maybe because it was first quarter 2020, you'd probably see the worst impact on second quarter and third quarter when you've got more months in the ECQ range. Now, as for the ECQ, this is something that ABS-CBN News has been sharing. The barred under new normal is the following businesses. Gyms, fitness studios, and sports facilities are still banned under the general community quarantine. All the theaters, movie theaters, cinemas, large concerts, festivals, carnivals, conventions, shows, pubs, and bars are still not allowed. These are your mass gatherings. Business-related mass gatherings such as conferences, conventions, trade shows, workshop retreats are not allowed. Politically related mass gatherings are also not allowed. Sports championships, tournaments, games, and trainings, these are not allowed. Actually, all of these things are massively impacting our biggest mall operator in the Philippines, which is SM. So actually, the rise of SM Prime today is quite surprising for me. Religious mass gatherings and also these things. You cannot have gambling and betting activities. I'm not sure if they are fixing these because according to the way that Enrique Razon is saying is that they're having high standards Also abroad, such as Las Vegas, Nevada, there's actually reopening of casinos. So I think that these bans might be relaxed a few months from now. We'll see. But so far, really, the impact of tourism is so bad, such that we're seeing the following things happen. For your tourism, macro Asia continues to go down. This is near your 52-week low, near your all-time lows. You're also seeing Cebu Pacific also down 1.27%. So definitely, we're seeing that the airline sector is still getting heavily downturns. For our G pump picks, it's quite normal for us to see Pure Gold and Mrs. G down a bit. But even from the chart perspective, you could see that it's not a big problem, if ever, because most of the people are still awaiting for your earnings to come. So it's natural for some people to not wait for the earnings. They're gonna sell first because they don't know what's the earnings front. They don't want the risk. There could be volatility abroad, whatever it is that their reasons are. That is fine. As you can see from the chart, and even from the worldwide grocery moves, you can see that this sector is continuously resilient. So this is just a normal profit taking, 50 down to 46.50. We're seeing supports. If this one tries to make a pullback, no change in your view, no. You've got a lot of support. Of course, nobody can tell how deep a correction would be. But if it falls, your first support would still be here at these levels. So this one, of course, is your support, which is 46 or somewhere at 45.80. Again, this is another support at about 44. Lastly, the most difficult support would be here at about 42 to 40. Now, what would make a pure gold drop in the next few days? I wouldn't know. It has to be a disappointing earnings quarter for people to actually renege with volume on the downside. So far, this drop does not have volume, so it's not a cause of concern. Now, for Mrs. G, I haven't seen the earnings report yet, but again, the drop has just a normal pullback. There's no volume on the downside, so this is just still in the same wavelength for pure gold. It's just still a normal profit taking. This bullish trend remains intact. Those who don't have a position and wants a supermarket could continue to enter both pure gold and Mrs. G at these levels, but also just take note of your position sizes. Let's take a look at okay, so another news flow that I've seen is that ABS-CBN was granted a provisional bill to be back. So actually, okay, you may follow me on Faces Trader. I retweet all the most important news details. Actually, there's news that the GG Summit has reported. Of course, their property and revenue would not be growing. They talk about their food business cushioning the decline in the airline and petrochemical revenues. So definitely, Shell is also reporting that they're trying to increase their marketing volumes before the ECQ, but their marketing volumes are now down by 34% during the second half of March. So earnings-wise, I think only the surprise would be Bloomberry not being as negatively impacted as what you might have thought. And then so far, Shakey's has also said that I haven't seen the earnings report of Shakey's yet, but Shakey's is saying that close to 75% of their overall store networks are expected to open as the restrictions on malls and other local government units are lifted. So I think from May 16 to May 31, we're gonna go to the new normal. We're gonna check how the Filipinos will handle this new normal, the modified ECQ. May 16 is this Saturday. So let me read to you some things of ABS-CBN. Actually, the news was a bill granting authored by House Speaker Cayetano. It's approved on the first reading, granting provisional authority to ABS-CBN until October 31, 2020. Let's see the exact news. I saw it in Inquirer or ABS-CBN News channel. Just go to the ABS-CBN News channel. Wait lang, guys. And now, wait lang. I think I already retweeted it. It's here in my Twitter file. Actually, one of the nice things to share is actually Catherine Bernardo. Catherine Bernardo broke from her silence and telling people that para sa mga kabataan, for the millennials, don't get scared kasi kagaya niya rin ako, natakot ako. Pero kung hindi kasi tayo magsasalita ngayon, sino? Tayo ang magmamana ng Pilipinas, kaya may karapatan tayo. Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano files bill giving ABS-CBN a provisional franchise until October 31, 2020. And I think that is a good news to share. I think ABS is still suspended from trading, but that is something that is important to share. Now, from the for all the MSCI, security bank which got deleted continues to go down, and we don't see any let up. We're actually seeing more sellers on that news. Could it go down to 80? It's possible. Similarly, we've seen deletion for Macro Asia, for East West, for Megawide. So take a look at what's happening. They are continuously going down. As to whether we'll see Macro Asia go new lows tomorrow, will it hit 350? We shall know. What else will happen? Okay, let's see. I think M-Wide also got deleted in your MSCI, so it continues to go down, so still falling. What else? East West. I think East West was also sold down. So a lot of negative outflow from your MSCI, and it will continue until the end of the month. So I understand why Philippine index is very slow on the downside. I mean, it's going down because of those things. You have your index with a market value of 3.4 billion pesos, declines outnumbering 114. We have 352-week new lows. So we've got a lot of sellers in the market. You should probably expect more downturns, but for our picks, I'd say that no change in view. You've got safe harbor on your telecoms, on your food staples. So it should do fine. We'll await earnings fronts for next week, and let's see how things go. That would be my report for the day. I hope you've got a good time. The USA is also hitting some resistances. We're going to evaluate some earnings. You could check my Faces Trader Twitter account. I've written about some interesting companies such as Baidu. I shared it on my thread. The thread on Baidu. You can take a look. And actually, let's see what the answers of people on our Scottie Pippen stock of the Philippines who won. I think it was a tie. About 50% of you voted for Manila Water, being the Scottie Pippen underdog stock of the Philippines, while 49 point something percent viewed that Mrs. G was truly a Scottie Pippen in the Philippine markets. Let me just search on that quickly. Take a look. Sandali lang, guys. Okay, so this is the poll. I had 67 people voting. 52% of you voted that Manila Water is really a very underappreciated and undervalued company. Both of these companies are actually 5 times multiple. Utilities and groceries are very cheap, and I think they are COVID resilient plays for your 2020. So let's evaluate things as we go along, and this ends my presentation. Thank you guys. See you again tomorrow.